Yo, what are you lot saying? It's your boy here, and today what I've got for you is the F1 2016 Bahrain Grand Prix review for you guys. Now, apologies for the little delay in advance. I've just been having technical difficulties. What I mean is that my old camera back there, has died, so I'm using a new one, as you can see right here, which is going to be used from now on for my reviews on YouTube as well to my other camera, the Sony Cybershot, which you would have seen in my Stratford video, which I could upload maybe after, I don't know. Maybe it might be uploaded in combination with this video, so yeah, that is going to be used for my vlogs. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it was a bit sad when that other one died, but whatever, you got to move on from this. So yeah, here comes this camera. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this new camera. Let me know what you think about the quality of this camera. Do you like it or not? So yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the Bahrain Grand Prix. So basically, in practice, nothing much really happened, to be honest. Also, by the way, Stoffel Vandoorne got his first F1 debut in F1. Basically, Alonso had a massive accident, as you saw from Australia, him bouncing across the gravel trap. Because of this, he had a bit of an injury. I'm not quite sure specifically, to be honest. It's really hard to remember, to be honest. And as a result, Stoffel Vandoorne was put into the Formula 1 seat for the first time. It was so awesome. Absolutely loved him during this weekend, and I'll talk a bit more about him later on. Also, the F1 qualifying system had not been dumped. They have kept it for Bahrain, which was so stupid by the FIA. A lot of people were talking about it, quite badly about it, you know, saying that this was a joke, that they were putting this back, and even were saying even more when they were even having talks about an aggregate system where 2 lap times would count to 1 lap time, and that's it in qualifying. So it's just stupid. It wouldn't work, to be honest, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't work because qualifying is supposed to be a 1 lap shoot. It's supposed to be a 1 lap, you know, session where the fastest lap gets pole, or gets second, or gets third, or gets whatever position they're in. You know, it's not supposed to be a 2 or 3 or 5 laps, which counts to 1 lap time. It's supposed to be 1 lap where the driver gives it absolutely everything. Boom, 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 shabba-labba-labba, done, done, done. So to put into context, if qualifying was wet and then it turned to dry, we'd have a mixed up grid to the one that we could have had at the end of the session where the track was dry. So say, for instance, Britain in 2014 where it was like that. Nico Rosberg sets a blistering lap time, Hamilton beats it in the wet conditions in Britain. Then afterwards the conditions change, Hamilton has problems, you know, with his lap times, which drops him down to 6th, Rosberg gets pole. Had that been put in place, Rosberg in 2014 in Britain would have probably started 3rd or 4th, which meant that it could have been Hamilton on pole. So yeah, I mean, it would have been good for me, but in terms of the fans, in terms of the spirit of racing, in terms of the spirit of qualifying, wouldn't have been good at all, to be honest, because qualifying is rewarded by the fastest lap time. But nonetheless, it wasn't really used in like future, to be honest, because the old system was back. Thank God, my God, I'm so happy right now. It's the most simplistic out of the 3, to be honest. Fastest lap time in each session, you know, trying to get out the top 17 or the top 10, boom, 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 done, done, done. So yeah, it's a simple qualifying session. I really enjoy it a lot. So yeah, it's nice to see that back in fashion. It's nice to see F1 back to where it belongs. Before that, we have to endure one last hurrah with the old qualifying system in Bahrain. Now qualifying got underway in dry conditions. A lot of the drivers putting in their best lap times, trying to get out of the top 17 of the drop zone. So yeah, in the first 5-7 minutes, and then as it came down, Harriente was out. I believe 2 Renaults were out, and then Ericsson was out too. So unfortunate for them lot. They were out in Q1. Q2 got underway. and it was really, really terrible. Not a lot of people went out in like the last few minutes of it because they didn't have enough time to get on track, which is absolutely stupid and was mainly the reason why we all hated this new qualifying system, to be honest. So yeah, and as a result, not a lot, like I said, not a lot of people came out on track except for Hulkenberg, who did go on track and did get into the top 8, which is fantastic. But then in Q3, he didn't go any higher than that, so he would start from 8th place. So yeah. Also, oh, by the way, on a side note, Magnussen had to start from the back of the grid, which would then start from pit lane because of him missing the weighbridge in practice. So as a result, he had to start from the pit lane, I believe. So yeah, that was a bit unfortunate for him. But pretty much he started from the back, so yeah. I didn't know, and it was quite surprising to know why he didn't go out, why he did go on track, to be honest. It would have made sense if he didn't go on track, to be honest, but I guess he wanted to entertain the fans for a little bit, so fair play to him, so yeah. So back to Q3, and boy, what a show it was between the top 4 of Hamilton, Rosberg, Vettel and Raikkonen, both gunning it for pole position, both pushing their class hard. Hamilton in his first run made a huge mistake, ran really, really wide on the final corner of his first run, which meant that he would be in 4th. Rosberg would be fastest from Vettel 2nd and Raikkonen 3rd. But then on the last few remaining minutes of the session, Hamilton put in a blistering lap time, which actually became the fastest lap time in Bahrain ever, which is insane. Pipping the V10's 1:29.5, him putting in a 1:29.3, which was insane, really, really insane. Goes to show you how much, you know, the sport has changed from its illustrious V10s to its nowly reformed V6s, which are now putting out more power, more lap time speed as the V10s, which is phenomenal. Even Rosberg beat that as well, putting in a 29.5, like a low 29.5. The old one was a 29.5.9, I believe it was. So yeah, the Ferraris couldn't beat it. They went 3rd and 4th, with Vettel leading the charge from Raikkonen 4th. And yeah, it was a good qualifying session. Also, Ricciardo came 5th. Good on him, especially in that sort of Renault-powered, well, they basically don't want to say, they're basically not calling it a Renault-powered, but we're going to call it a Renault-powered anyway, for the fun of it. A Renault-powered Renault-powered Red Bull, who came 5th, so good on him, of Ricciardo. 6th, I believe, was Massa, good on him. 7th was Kvyat, I believe, good on him as well. And then 8th was Hulkenberg, of course, so yeah, awesome qualifying session from him. So going into the race, Vettel, surprise, surprise, he had his engine blow on the formation lap, which meant that he couldn't start the race, which meant that he was out of the race. Terrible blow in his championship, you know, because, you know, he finished 3rd. It was an okay finish for him, and I thought going into this race he could really challenge for the win against the 2 Mercedes and his teammate as well. So yeah, unfortunate. I think it would have created a bit more of a spice if Vettel was in it as well. So yeah, like I said, unfortunate. So at the start of the race it was a good getaway from the 2 Mercedes, particularly from Rosberg, who got the jump from Hamilton just before they came into turn 1. And as they came into turn 1, Bottas got locked up from a good start. Both the Williams were in 3rd and 4th, but a mistake from Bottas puts him into the side of Hamilton, which gave Hamilton a bit of floor damage and a bit of front wing damage as well. Same with Bottas as well, he had a bit of front wing damage, and also later on he would receive a drive-through penalty for that collision there. So yeah, it's a nice bit of justice there, because I really thought it was a dirty, sort of a really dirty and malicious move from Bottas, to be honest. You know, it was way too opportunistic, to be honest, especially as the door was closing from Hamilton's side. So yeah, I just knew it wasn't going to work out, and initially it did, and I was so annoyed. Like, literally at the time I was literally so angry at Bottas with that happening, to be honest. I was literally pissed off. hard, so yeah. And then as a result, Hamilton dropped down to 6th place with a bit of front wing damage, which he would carry on to the end of the race. Surprisingly, for us, I thought he would make a change, but apparently he doesn't. So yeah, they both carved their way through the field, past the 2 Williams, up into 2nd and 3rd, with Raikkonen leading the charge to Rosberg. Rosberg leading when the two cars of Raikkonen and Hamilton got through the traffic. Pulled an insane 8-second lead to Raikkonen behind, and then a couple of seconds behind Hamilton as well. So yeah, and it really became that during the entirety of the race. Really, Rosberg maintaining that big gap that he created at the start of the race, and the 2 cars trying to chase him down as well. So yeah, Hamilton couldn't do anything about Raikkonen. He would end up finishing 3rd from Raikkonen 2nd. But the juiciest part of the race came from the middle of the field, and that was particularly with the likes of Verstappen, Grosjean, Ricciardo, Kvyat, and the 2 Williamses. But the 2 Williamses were kind of like easy targets for the guys like Grosjean and the Red Bulls as well to pass, as they really got past every single time during the entirety of the race, you know, which all really started from that, which all really started after that at the start of the race. So yeah. Also, one thing to point out: Palmer retired from the race. He had a bit of hydraulics problems, unfortunate for him. So yeah, and also as well, I believe Button had a problem. I think it was a gearbox problem that he reported going down the main straight. He retired from the race, unfortunate for him there. Would have loved to see him see what he could do against Van Dorn during the race, because I know it would have been close had he been in it. So yeah. But during the middle of the race, we saw a lot of action going on, like I said. The 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Williamses, and the Haas as well, Grosjean, who really was on a charge during the entire race. You know, pulling moves left, right, and centre. It was fantastic. Same with Verstappen as well, I might add as well. He made some good moves as well, whilst behind Grosjean on some occasions, which was fantastic. And not to mention the Red Bulls as well, particularly with Kvyat. He pulled some insanely good moves at times, you know. One move in particular, I think he made a dive bomb going into turn 1 on Massa. Massa got a good drive on the exit, and then going into turn 3, they were both side by side. Massa on the outside and Kvyat on the inside. Both of them pushing each other right into the onto the exit of the track. It was very, very forceful from Kvyat, but both of them giving each other enough room for them to survive. But then Kvyat coming the favourite out of that and taking the position of Massa there, which was fantastic. Great little battle, probably one of the best battles during the race, to be honest, because they were both. It kind of reminded me of the 2014 Rosberg Hamilton incident, where both of them were pushing each other completely off the track, almost into the gravel trap. It was fantastic to watch, to be honest, and we kind of saw that as well with Kvyat and Massa, which is, like I said, fantastic. So yeah, but like I said, we also got some great battles too with Grosjean. Like I said, Grosjean getting through the field, but unfortunately for his teammate, he had problems. He had to retire from the race. Unfortunate for him. And yeah, and that was pretty much it. I mean, Rosberg comes out the winner of that race. Raikkonen comes 2nd, Hamilton 3rd. 4th was, I believe it was Ricciardo who came 4th, so good drive from him. Another top 4 finish for him, good drive in that new Red Bull Tag Heunen partnership. 5th, I believe it was, yeah, 5th was Grosjean, so another points paying finish for Haas. Fantastic! It was one of the true highlights of the evening, to be honest, during the evening of the race. So yeah. 6th was Massa, I believe it was. No, it was Kvyat, I believe it was. So yeah, good drive by him. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, a great drive by Rosberg. Really controlled the pace throughout the entire race. Had no pressure from anyone behind. Really was able to control the attacks from both Hamilton and Raikkonen behind. So yep. And for Haas as well, fantastic, awesome. You know, to beat their best result during the F1 season, even though it's been 2 races, is phenomenal. And to get a 5th place as well, fantastic. 10 points as well, so that's awesome. for the Haas team, and I think that puts him in 3rd or 4th in the championship, which is insane, which all of us didn't really knew would happen, to be honest. I thought they would be somewhat like a Lotus or a HRT in the start of the season, not scoring a lot of points, not doing well, to be honest, not scoring a point, you know. And then it would be like only a few seasons later where they would finally get some points and that, and it would be all nice and gloomy. It would be nice and bright and that kind of stuff. But it's funny to know that they're so good from the get-go. You know, it's crazy, man. So yeah, like I said, a fantastic Grand Prix filled with lots of battles in the midfield. Not as much in the front, but at least we were treated to some good action at the middle. So yeah. So that's it for the 2016 F1 Bahrain Grand Prix for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit that like button below, subscribe to the other guys, I'm out. Peace.